Lady Khadijah with Selam. Yes, how you doing today? Formerly known as KR Magazine. We're still around. However, today I got an amazing topic that I want to talk about. You know I try to stay holistic, so grab your hot cup of tea and let's get it cracking. All right. So we're going to open with this. Basically, if you want to get any information on this, the actual information that you can get from the archives is called The Human Experiment. It came out in 2013. It's probably like an hour and 32 minutes. But let's get it cracking. Any questions or comments, just basically hit us up on the chat line and we'll get back with you. In 1999, we had 1 in 500 kids that had been considered to be having autism. Now, my topic today is why, and it's just very candid. I love to open up the floor for discussion. Why does some people in America create an issue or a sickness or an ailment, but then they provide all these millions of dollars they want us to give or get grants for to try to cure something? So to me, it's kind of like a freak of nature. It's like you're creating a sickness, you're creating cancer, these diseases and things, but then you're making $1 million breast cancer survivor type thing and gold pink cups, pink pens. And my mom is a breast cancer survivor. I have family and friends. I have an aunt that died from cancer, so I'm not bashing anybody. It's just when you start being personal with it and you're showing up and you're being there with your family, you start to question, what's this really all about? So I always wanted to know, am I the only one thinking this process? Like, okay, we have all these grants and $1 million programs to cure you, or you could die, but wasn't America, some people in America, the ones that created it? That's what I want to talk about today. Listen to this clip real quick that I have, and let's go from there.
We can't fully account for all of the increase by looking at changes in definition, looking at changes in practice, looking at age at diagnosis, accounting for all those things. There's still a big part of the rise that we can't account for at this point in time.
My brother has affected my life in every way that anyone can. In hindsight, things probably would have been really different had I not had a sibling with autism.
Do chemicals cause autism?
Well, that's the question of the hour, isn't it?
The questions don't stop there. What are the causes of the increased rates of childhood brain cancer, asthma, leukemia in children, early onset puberty, ADHD, genital deformities in baby boys, and life-threatening birth defects? All are on the rise since the dawn of the modern chemical revolution.
Now, that's what I want to talk about really quick. So it has increased over the past 45 years. And, you know, we can get into immunization, but that's a topic for another day. Just tune in with us. But it says that the childhood type of things that are happening is not normal. I'm just going to go like that. I was going to say something else. But you have your childhood brain cancer is 38%. Now, this is in between 2012 and 2016. Autism, that's something that we're going to go to ADHD, which is 53%. Asthma, 80%. Leukemia in children, 74%. Early onset puberty, come on, 55%. Genital deformities in baby boys is 122%. Am I the only one looking at this? Life-threatening birth defects are at 100%. So my question is raised at this point, what is really good? Let's go a little bit further in this clip, in this interview.
From the Middle Ages down to modern times, the magic of chemistry has fascinated mankind. This is the age of industrial chemistry.
Over the last 100 years, thousands of chemicals have been introduced into our society. 80,000 chemicals are on the market in the United States. They're in everything from curtains, upholstery, and furniture to the makeup or shaving cream you used this morning. Your electronics, cleaners, the very materials used to build your home. 42 billion pounds of chemicals enter American commerce every day. That amount would fill up 623,000 tanker trucks. Over the last half century, chemical use in America has gone up more than 2,000%. Chemicals surround us, They are inside of us. Most of these chemicals are not tested for their safety because industry in America does not have to prove a chemical is safe before it gets onto the market. Instead, like a defendant in an American courtroom, the chemical is innocent until proven guilty.
The biggest concern that I have is our astounding ignorance, really, about...
Now, this is Dr. Megan. You know, she is basically a guru of what she does. And she's a physician and a research analyst or whatever. And she actually is at the School of Public Health. So, awesome information. Let's listen to what she's saying.
The effects of most of the chemicals that are in commerce. We don't even know what's in our furniture, what's in our cleaning supplies, what's in our shampoos, our body washes, our lotions, our makeup. If you're not outraged, you're not paying attention to what the hell's going on.
We're doing things for our physiology that on an individual level don't seem that profound. When you take it and multiply it over millions of people over 100 years, you're talking about entire populations that have had their life chances totally limited.
And that was Dr.
Protection
Reisner.
Agency is in charge of monitoring the chemical industry in the U.S. as laid out by the Toxic Substances Control Act of 1976. When TSCA came into law, there were already 62,000 chemicals on the market, which were grandfathered in, assumed safe because they were already in use. It's almost impossible for the EPA to gather enough data to remove any of these chemicals from the market because of this toothless law.
Now that you heard that, man, 62,000 chemicals that were already there. So the United States Environmental Protection Agency is kind of like, what are they really doing? You know, like Jim Jones, he's an Environmental Protection Agency. He works there. You know, like he has an interesting points to say about it. Like, you know, for example, you know, a pesticide that came out a while ago and they tried to get a ban on the overturn of it. That didn't go well because you had like 6 and 1 industrial places coming out saying, hey, what we have is legit and it's fine, versus you having people coming together and say, hey, this is not right. All I'm saying, you know, I'm not going to go into a long aspect of this, but what I'm saying is you need to be aware. And that's why I try to keep this as holistic as possible. I have products. Look on my Facebook page. I'll be posting them. And I'll let you know where you can get these products from. There's natural things like, yeah, I know you still want to look cute. You want to wear your makeup and your nail polish. They have 100% vegetable polish. And it looks like real polish. I mean, there's things you can use as chemicals and things. But don't wonder why you are facing ailments. Well, I'm praying every day. But what are you doing? Because of the lack of knowledge and understanding. So people stop blaming the Most High for stuff that, you know, you just got to get educated about. And that's one of the things I wanted to do. Because, like, when you're selling a car, no one sells a car for their safety. I don't care if you pay for a $100,000 car, you're not buying it for the safety of it. You know, like Dr. Joseph Good says, you know, from the University of California, Berkeley, that, you know, he gave a great scenario. And it was profound to me because, like he was saying, between 2010 and 2013, one of the U.S. Senators, Frank Lindenberg's primary goal was to make a modern day chemical law. And how did that go? Well, his last name is Lautnberg. I may say it wrong, but you know, he's a Democrat from New Jersey, where he was at the time. Like the plants and things that we see and we breathe. You ever go by a plant and you go, oh my gosh, that smell outside. Oh, they smell like boo-boo. I mean, the Environment and Public Works, you know, SD 406, you know, American Chemical Council. Can I keep going? Let me keep going. I mean, you smelling the chemicals in the air every day. So are you saying some of the chemicals that I smell, are they causing cancer or different issues? We're not just talking about cancer here. I read off a list of a percentile of facts of things that are affecting us. So, you know, we worrying about sodas and sugars and things like that. We got to look at the whole ramification of things. So when we say holistic, and that's one thing that will bring me back to many companies, but one company in particular, not because I'm a part of it, but Health by Designs, that's something that you need to try to look at. If it's not that company, somewhere else where you can find safer elements for what you're consuming. Stop trying to do this quick stuff like, you know, for example, if you're wrapping your stuff, you should be wrapping your stuff with 100% natural, all organic stuff, not some chemical that seems to say it or whatever, and it's not. Someone asked me the other day about something because I had a conversation with an amazing woman, and we were talking about the FDA. Can anybody respond to me and let me know, does the FDA approve holistic products? Me personally, being in public health, went to school at Benedict College for Public Health, been in the military for 10 years on the food service, came out as an inspector. I have nowhere yet to find where the FDA approves for herbs. If I'm wrong, let me know. I'm willing to learn. But only 13 health and environmental people came up to even try to talk about industrial interests or whatever when it comes to the things that we're consuming, because the things we're consuming are it's like some things are like freakerish to me. It's like you're creating to make money to get rich. You're getting rich and you're making things that you know is not good for people. But then you do that. Let's say like someone punched you in the face, but now I'm going to pay for your medical bills because I just punched you in the face. That's how I feel. If you have any comments, please let me know. This is my time to bring my 12 minutes of holistic advice and information and give you an update of what's coming up new and coming. And I am super excited to present some information I have for you. We're going to be doing some water testing, and the ones that I got to do water testing on is core hydration, just water, and Deer Park. We're doing these backwards because sometimes when you open something that is alkaline, you need to drink it and consume it in a certain amount of time, and I don't think people know that. So they open up water bottles and they leave them all around the house, and then you go back and drink them later. Now you're drinking toxic, but we just need to prove that, so we're going to do some testing with that. But before we close out today, I just want you to listen to this small clip, okay? Here you go.
Like, okay, you know what? I can do something. I can't expect somebody else to stand up and do this if I'm not willing to do it. There's a lot of money being put into a cure, which is wonderful, but wouldn't it be even better if we can prevent cancer before it even starts?
Wow.
Great job on that.
Wow.
Hello, Senator Hannah Carey. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Hannah. Nice to see you. I'm a grandfather with a lot of grandchildren, and I love them dearly, and I want them to be healthy. But one has asthma, another one has diabetes, and whatever we can do to prevent these things from happening, we should do. And that's my mission here.
Where do you see this bill going?
I think that we will make it. Question is when. We shouldn't have to play detective to find out whether or not a product is safe or not, because we learned that a group of children have become ill in a particular area.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. I am a breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed when I was 37. Thank you. I was very, very lucky to come through it, to be healthy, to be able to be out here and advocate for these issues. But there are a lot of women who aren't, and I just don't want anybody to have to go through that.
There's so many thousands of chemicals that we haven't tested. We really don't know.
This is Representative Jan
and ingest them.
Skowalski. She's a Democrat from Illinois.
I made a terrible assumption that if it was out on the shelves and you were putting it on your face, it was probably safe.
Right.
And was very surprised that that's not the case.
Consumers do think that somebody somewhere
that's right
is protecting us from dangerous products.
It's just not right. It's just unacceptable.
Really, what you're advertising is, okay, rolling the dice here, lay down your money.
Trust the American Chemistry Council.
Yeah, trust the American Chemistry Council and buy our product.
Right.
May or may not be good for you.
Wow. BPA is one of the highest volume chemicals produced in the world.
In the early 1900s, somebody started looking at bisphenol A as a miscarriage preventer. Researchers realized that BPA had these estrogen properties. And then we're talking about a chemical that doesn't behave like your standard toxin. We're talking about an endocrine disruptor. Plastic researchers realized that BPA also had these amazing properties and what it could do to plastic. It's extremely clear, so you can look through it, and it just is extremely shatterproof. Before you knew it, it started appearing in everything we had. It's a $6 billion industry today. It's everywhere. BPA and endocrine disruptors are in products that we all use every day. The plastic cups that we use, or in the fragrances that are in our laundry detergent, or in the little fabric sheets that we put in. And these things, if they get into our bodies, many of these chemicals can actually behave like hormones.
93% of Americans that have tested BPA in their bloodstream.
We really want to look into these chemicals. I want to look at the science. I want to look at, the business of this.
Yes, that was Susan Russ. Susan Russ had launched into a 3-year series on BPA, writing dozens of stories of her 2 other investigative reporters. So check her out. We're going to end with Susan Russ. We're going to pick up a little bit later on in this week and continue on with this. We're going to chop it up some more with the human experiment and a lot of other great things. So it's so many different things we're going to do in this parallel that I'm really excited about. But hey, I'm just here, a voice, going through, making this a well and known as a passion for me. So also we will be tapping into, please join the movement with us for the abuse advocate. We're doing that. We're still doing that. We're going to be launching it. I'm most definitely a supporter of domestic violence, but I'm more so also a supporter of preventing verbal abuse. So that's the area that I really and pushing and motivating and hoping that it can help somebody, because I'm just going to tie this into the next show before the next health series of holistic healing, health, and all those great things. But there's been a question that is raised to me, and I had an experience, you guys, I'm going to share with you a little bit later on down the line. But right now I just want to tackle this. I had someone that was kind of close to me that passed away September the 9th. And because they were at a place that was supposed to protect them from abuse, they got kicked out. And because they got kicked out, they said if I go back to my ex-husband, he's gonna kill her. And that's what happened. So I want to send a regards to the family. Hope we can get some airtime with them or whatever. Send up some prayers for them. But so far, the statistics of women that have died from returning back to the home, from leaving these so-called safe havens, have drawn a big question mark to me. So those are some things we're going to be talking about. So please join the movement with me. I love you guys. Until next time, see ya here on the airwaves. Yeah.